Welcome back to Timber Middle School on Friday, May 6th. I'm Katie.
And I'm Elizabeth. We made it! Welcome back.
And now it's time for the pledge. Please stand.
Today is the last day to check out books. All library books are due Monday, May 16th, which is the week after STAR. Also, we will have a buy one, get one free book fair from May 16th to 20th in the library.
Make sure you get all those books to last you through the summer, because you read during summer.
It's a thing.
Attention teachers and students, please make sure that you are providing passes for hallway walking. You get one or you have to go back to class.
Hey, all current 6th graders. Students entering the 7th grade will need to have a current shot record on file in the nurse's office. If you are unsure if your record is current, have your parent check with Nurse Jane. Letters will be sent home for the students and the parents notifying them.
Attention all 7th graders, if you're applying to be a member of NJHS for next year, your adult recommendation has to be from an adult that is outside of school. There's a separate form for teacher evaluations. It is due today. Don't waste your time. Don't turn it in late. They will not be accepted.
Attention all Powder Puff cheerleaders. Please meet in the small gym today at 4 p.m. Coach Bates will give more instructions of where groups will practice.
I believe regular Powder Puffs should meet there as well, but check with your coaches. 8th grade NJHS members, there's a meeting today during lunch in the collaboration area. Make sure you're there because remember, your service hours for the year are due, so bring those to the meeting.
Attention STUCO members, our final general meeting is today. You will need to be there because it's the elections for upcoming officers and everybody in student council. We will talk about electing new officers and campaigning for jobs. Also, we are going to plan an ice cream party for those of you who are in it this year and those who are going to be in it next year. So make sure you get the word around.
Please, please, please come. If you're interested in joining student council, make sure you come as well. You've got to get those forms. Speaking of forms, the 16 to 17 school year athletics information is due soon for all 7th and 8th and 6th graders going into athletics. Make sure you also have a physical. No physical, no sports, no fun.
The movie club meets on Mondays and Tuesdays after school until 4:30, and the Fellowship of the Christian Students meets every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. They meet in room I-124, Mrs. Lopez's room.
Don't forget that the Reptile Club meets on Wednesdays, and always remember, Reptile Club, mammals not excluded.
Wow, Coach Ketchum. We all have heroes and people we look up to. Take the time to celebrate these real-life superheroes this week during Teacher Appreciation Week. Tell those teachers that you love and appreciate them and how they made a difference in your life.
Me and you, we have to look up to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Ladies and Coach Morrow, we need to have a talk. If you want to wear leggings, make sure you wear a shirt or dress or sweatshirt that comes down to at least your mid-thigh. And Coach Morrow, we mean past mid-thigh. Thanks so much.
Now we look at what else is going on here at TMS and around the world. Welcome to the do's and do nots of leggings. Here we have a prime example of how not to wear leggings. As you can see, her shirt does not come down to mid-thigh. That's right, take the walk of shame. Get little.
The UK is thinking of leaving, cutting off economic ties with the rest of Europe. It's something called the Brexit, short for British exit. And Ariel Hickson went all the way to London to find out more.
The clock is ticking, and across Europe, all eyes are focused on the United Kingdom, with their upcoming vote on the European Union referendum.
The EU referendum has fairly obviously become the dominating conversation really in British life this year.
The referendum vote, which happens in late June, will determine whether or not the UK will remain a part of the 28-nation club, known as the European Union. One of the biggest benefits of the EU is that it combines to create the world's largest economy. And countries within it can trade amongst one another tax-free. And residents living in those countries are free to live, work, and travel between all the member countries. As a member of the Union since it was founded, the UK has been an instrumental part of the EU, both financially and politically. But some, like Phil Shepherd and Luke Nash-Jones, believe that Great Britain would be better off without it.
I feel we have the finest system of governance in the world, and I don't want to be part of what the French president, Mr. Hollande, or Merkel from Germany has said we must have this European Federal Republic, just to be a province of Europe. I think we have a far better system of governance.
They volunteer with an organization called London Universities for Britain, which is part of the country's Vote Leave campaign.
So let's take back control.
The EU also create laws that govern over most of Europe. Vote Leave believes that by leaving the European Union, Britain will no longer be restricted by the laws in place and will be able to govern itself independently.
In America, all laws are made in Congress and signed by the President. Here, most of our laws are made in the EU Commission by people we don't even elect. That is against democracy.
And if they leave, Britain will no longer have to contribute to the EU budget. Last year, they contributed about $19 billion. And all of that, they believe, will be better spent staying in Britain. And with many EU countries like Greece and Italy on the brink of economic collapse, and the value of the euro, the European Union's official currency, continuing to decline, they say leaving could be Britain's safest bet.
The British country will be worse off economically outside of the European Union.
But another organization, called Britain Stronger in Europe, believes that while the European Union may not be perfect, Britain is better off staying in.
Well, 50% of our trade goes to the EU. It's our single largest trading partner. And therefore, I think it's utterly bizarre to want to therefore leave it.
Benjamin Brind is a volunteer for this opposing campaign.
That despite the many flaws of Europe, despite the many flaws of the European Union, it is very clear that it's how Britain will be stronger, safer and better off.
And while most of the UK is split down the middle on whether to leave or stay, most of the young people we interviewed had overwhelmingly made up their mind. What do you think? Should they stay or go?
They should stay.
Stay, absolutely.
I'm part of the generation where we think it's safer to be together.
I immigrated here. I'm on an EU passport, so I'd quite like to stay.
A recent study of 18 to 34-year-olds showed that 53% of them support Britain staying in the EU, compared to the 29% of them who wanted to leave. But admittedly, only half of the people surveyed in this age group said they were actually going to vote. One major factor could be immigration. Europe has been flooded with people fleeing from conflicts in Africa and the Middle East. The EU has done its best to regulate the flow of migrants and refugees, but thousands have still made their way in, many of them settling in Great Britain, leaving residents worried about a lack of jobs and the increase of resources needed to support them.
And I think that young people are more open to immigration than more elderly people. It is clear that of not building walls, but instead being opening and welcoming societies that want to attract talented labour is the best way forward for any country in the Western world.
UK Prime Minister David Cameron has come out in support of Britain staying in the EU. And in a controversial move, even President Obama has joined the fiery debate, saying that if Britain decides to leave the EU, they will no longer receive priority in trade agreement deals with their long-standing and strongest ally, the United States.
Our focus is in negotiating with a big bloc, the European Union, to get a trade agreement done. And UK is going to be in the back of the queue.
And so now it's left for the people to decide. On June 23rd, votes will be cast. And only time will tell the fate of the United Kingdom. Ariel Hickson, Channel 1 News.
Now a look at birthdays from today.
And now we throw it to Shelby for a look at the weather.
To the Wingo!
Hey, this is the Wingo with Friday's forecast. Today should be partly cloudy with the highs in the low 80s and the lows in the 60s. This weekend, we have sunny skies for Saturday and a small chance of rain for Sunday. That's it for today, Timberview. Back to you.
He's constantly confusing, confounding the British henchmen. Everyone give it up for America's favorite fighting Frenchman!
What are the Founding Fathers' favorite tea? Liberty! Well, that's it for today, Timberview.
Good luck on Star next week. Always keep looking up because that's where it all is.